Hey, Chris Williams here. Hey, listen, how do you reset a chaotic environment? What do you do? I've seen this happen personally in my life, and it's going to continue to happen, at seasons where it just seems like every single thing that can go wrong does go wrong, right? Murphy's Law. And so you got to ask yourself sometimes, like, what can we do to reset our environment so that it's not so chaotic? I mean, kids need this, family needs this, life is out of control in these areas, work is getting crazy, boss has crazier demands, all these different things that happen. And it's like, can I wake up one day without something being wrong? And I know how that feels. And so I just want to offer some advice on how you reset a chaotic environment by 3 simple things that you can do in order to be able to help with that. The first thing you can do is to control what gets in and what stays out. Yeah, let me say that again. You want to be able to control what gets in and what stays out of your life. And by that, I mean, at some point you have to kind of create the boundaries by which that particular season of life needs and demands. And so when you have a lot of chaos and just things that are going crazy and different things that are happening, sometimes there's more things that other people on the outside will start to add on to your situation in your life. And here's what you want to be able to do. You got to learn to say no, right? No is a very powerful 2-letter word. It can determine how some people feel about certain things, or the other thing is that for you personally, no becomes powerful because now you can make room for other things that need to happen. So when you have a chaotic environment and there's just a lot of crazy things that are demanding your attention, and it doesn't seem like you're going to get that 25th hour that we all wish we had, you got to learn to control. So control what gets in and what stays out. And what stays out is new things that are coming in. If somebody's asking you for something new, they want you to be on this board or work over here, we need you on this project, or can you make this meeting tomorrow gotta say no. Just say no. Be okay with saying no, and stand up on your no. Don't waffle on it. Practice saying no a lot of times. Practice saying no to your kids. Practice saying no, to your boss at times, because why? You need to focus on the things that are happening at whatever season you are when it's very, very chaotic. Now, what gets in can be a little tricky at times, and I want to offer you some advice about that when it comes to controlling this chaotic environment. What gets in are the things that need your immediate attention. If it's not something that can't be solved by you right now, I think honestly you need to reset the date of when it's due, so to speak, whether that's in your household, whether that's at work, whether that's with your friends, if they have something they want to do or whatever. I think a lot of times what we've got to do is look at our situations and sometimes just reprioritize the situation. Be willing to say, you know what, I am going to say no to that right now. Let me get back to you on when I can get this accomplished. And let that be the answer. You don't have to explain everything to everybody. You don't have to do all those different things. I think it's important that for you, when the situation is happening and there's a lot of chaos happening, you've got to control the environment. And this is the best way you can do it. You want to make sure that you're controlling what gets in and what stays out by using that simple method. Number 2, what you want to do is you want to find alternatives for the things that you removed that support your ultimate outcome. So what does that mean? That means that you've decided what's not going to get in the control step. Now you want to look at, how do I find alternatives to the things that I have now created space for, to make sure that I'm focusing on what I need to be focused on. I heard somebody say it before, keep the main thing the main thing. And that's so important. So what you want to do is find alternatives. Maybe that's quiet time to focus now that you've created some more of this space. Maybe that's, okay, I'm going to make sure that I prioritize around these chaotic situations and really get down to what is really the problem? What is really the situation? Where can I offer advice, ideas, support? How can I provide the solution? And I think when you do that and you create these alternatives to your ultimate outcome, because your ultimate outcome is what? I want peace. I just want to make Monday through Friday as smooth as possible. Not that it's always going to be perfect, but you want it to be, you want to feel like you did something in the week, right? And so sometimes chaotic environments don't support that ultimate outcome. And so now that you've been able to kind of control what gets in and what stays out, just now look at the alternatives. Okay, now I've controlled the environment. Now my alternative is I'm no longer focused on what this person wants, that thing is needed. Now I can truly focus on what are these situations? What is causing them? And how can I bring a solution that's going to support my ultimate outcome? If you've got a project that you're working on at the office, and of course, we know how things can be at an office. Maybe you might be just you and one other person. And sometimes the projects are so large, you're working with 60 to 70 different people, and it's a long-term project. And you've got internal fighting, you've got red tape that you got to deal with, and all of the things that happen in a project. Sometimes once you control that situation, the next thing you got to do is look at, okay, now where are my problem areas? And be willing to confront them when you look at alternatives. I think a lot of us avoid conflict for multiple reasons. And I don't think that avoiding conflict is the worst thing, but sometimes avoiding that conflict makes the chaos bigger. And so now that you've made that control step, now you can do alternatives. The alternative is now I'm going to walk into these situations with a clearer mind because I've eliminated a lot of issues or things that were coming into me. And now I can truly focus on the problem, and I can figure out what do I need to do best in order to make sure that I am being a solution and or presenting new ways to get something accomplished. Number 3, and finally, I think one of the things that we've got to learn to do is delete the things that do not support this new environment that you've created. Whether that be people, whether that be situations, whether that be the ways in which we do things, sometimes even eliminating habits. Our reactionary habits to situations and things that happen. We've got to learn to adjust. And so sometimes that adjustment means I've got to delete what doesn't support my new environment. So that means a little reflection, a little stopping to say, okay, now that I understood what the chaos was, I understand how this went bad. Maybe there's some things that I need to now eliminate. If you have, very clingy people around you who seem to just kind of suck energy out of you, you might need to distance yourself or put boundaries around the time that you give to that particular relationship. If you have a boss that sometimes is a bit difficult to deal with, you might need to have a one-on-one with your boss where you don't talk about the next deliverables and all the things that need to go in your performance plan, but actually have a real heart-to-heart conversation. Talk about the things that you're finding that is difficult in order to be able to produce at a high level that you would like to. And be open and create the dialogue so that you can delete these situations and these barriers that is causing you not to be your full authentic self. And when you're in a chaotic environment, that's what we want ultimately. We want to be able to just be ourselves, deal with the situation in a healthy way, but we don't want to react to them, because when we react with our emotions, we react unintelligently, we react by creating quick judgments that sometimes don't really represent who we are as an individual when we stop and do reflection. So in this third, step and advice that I would give you, I would just look at the entire situation. What caused the chaos? What was the issue? What did happen? What were the things and the factors that contributed to the chaos? You might have to make a few tough decisions that say, you know what, I might need to delete this thing, that person, or how this habit that I had, or I looked at this and I realized, man, if I would have just made a better decision here, I probably wouldn't have been in this situation. And you can apply this to a lot of things. You can apply it financially. You can apply it to your personal life. You can apply it to relationships. You can apply it to your work habits even. There might be habits that you just have that cause you to panic. Some of us are last minute people. We reveal in the last minute things. Something was due, a week ahead of time. Now it's the day before and you go crazy. It's not your best self. And I think the more that we plan to be better and work that plan, the better we are going to present. And I think when we, do these things and we provide ourselves an opportunity to grow, when we control the environment, when we provide alternatives to what we've controlled, and when we delete these items, I think what it'll do is it'll allow us to point the way forward for better progress in our lives. Hey, did you enjoy that? I hope you did. More importantly, I hope that you actually see this as a value add to your personal life and you go and apply it, because that's the only way knowledge becomes power. Listen, I thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I hope that it motivated you. I hope that inspired you. Whether you take this to your teams, your friends, your coworkers, your organization, whatever you choose to do, let's continue on this relationship. Now that you've had a chance to view this video, hit the subscribe button. When you do, you will automatically be notified every time that we produce some new content. On top of that, if you want to be able to get access to my blogs, go ahead and go to my website, thechristopherwilliams.com, and I promise to make sure that each week you have instant access, stuff that'll hit you right in your email box once a week, not all the time, so that you know when there's new content. Listen, I thank you so much for your time. I hope that you make forward progress the most important part to your day. Take care.